Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's No FOMO Charts TA Stocks and Crypto live stream. Today is Saturday, November 4, 2023. It's just after 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome, everybody. In this live stream, I go over and show charts, technical setups, answer questions and requests regarding stocks and crypto. Last week, we had the USA Federal Reserve FOMC meeting, and essentially, we'll get to this news, but the FOMC held the interest rate for November. They did not raise this month, and so the market rallied off of that positive news. Most of stock earnings is over. There are just some remaining companies left, such as Realty Income, Corsair, eBay, Fidelity, LegalZoom, Rivian, Robinhood, Uber, Disney, Lyft, Tiva, Virgin Galactic, and Li Auto, Blink Charging as well. So there's a good mix of companies. The economic data releases for this week, Fed Chair Powell will have speeches 2 times. Unemployment claims, consumer sentiment, and inflation expectations. For the news, yes, stock market earnings season is continuing. FOMC held the interest rates, and the Fed chairman said he's going to continue to monitor the economic data into December. Apple unveiled their new M3 system on a chips, Apple Silicon for MacBook Pro and iMac. It's available now, I believe. And interesting performance changes there. X social media app could eventually try to become an everything app in the future. Elon Musk at the town hall meeting did mention finance app, dating app, and social media app all combined in one. Probably rolling out in the next year, a couple of years. For crypto, PayPal faces a SEC subpoena over its PayPal USD stablecoin, and the SEC is requesting the production of documents for that legal compliance. Former FTX crypto exchange CEO SBF was sentenced last week. He's convicted of fraud on 7 counts by a federal jury in Manhattan, New York, I believe. So that just goes to show, illegal activities in crypto, could end as this: guilty in a trial. So unfortunate for FTX and the crypto community. I'll talk about that a little bit more in the crypto segment, how that's affecting sentiment right now in trading. Now, just a new module here in the beginning, just some daily charts that I find interesting. These are not recommendations at all. These are just educational charts showing a potential chart pattern. So we have ExxonMobil, potential double bottom, Plug Power, Norwegian Cruise Line with potential bullish momentum. We'll see if that happens this week. Palantir, New Holdings, and KGC within the resistance zone are just about to break out of there as a test. Crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple all at a resistance area after a rally. And Binance Coin is testing its support zone after a bounce. So we'll watch that. Welcome, everybody. Let's go to the stock segment. So this is what I'm talking about. For stocks, we had this Morningstar reversal pattern. So if you remember, literally last stream, I called it out on the stream saying, I'm going to watch for this candle. If we get a green candle, it could turn into a Morningstar, which is a bullish pattern. And we went up for straight 5 days. The FOMC meeting was basically neutral. He held the rates. And so that day on Wednesday is bullish. Next day gap up, people are excited. But now, where are we? We're at a shooting star candle pattern. Okay, and just a quick aside, if you need to study candle patterns, open up your technicals, patterns, and you could go down to candlesticks and click all candlestick patterns. It does not always work. but you can start to kind of understand. It might be better to look on a TradingView article or Google, but if someone's just starting out, I recommend maybe putting the all candle patterns and all the chart patterns on just to start learning. But we have a shooting star printed on the daily, and this means a temporary resistance. Once we have these three white knights type of pattern with three gap ups, this could be an exhaustion gap, island top up here. The last time we got a shooting star, right? Very subtle. We had one here, we had one here, and one here, here as well. So usually shooting stars it doesn't mean the absolute top of the move, but it could signal some kind of relative top. And that's also confirmed by drawing the trend line, connecting the top side. We're almost there at this top side trend line. Okay. So if I view it as such, the resistance on the blue line on the top, support on the bottom line. And we were actually below that support on the oversold double bottom RSI conditions. Like I said last week, we bounced up. Now we're in overbought conditions relative on an H4 4-hour chart and a 1-hour chart as well. Look at this, a double top here on the RSI. So I will know tomorrow, Monday. We also on the hourly, just another confirmation, upside down head and shoulders with the neckline breakout test. Phenomenal, right? So there's three markers of why did we go up in the market. Now I will know this week if we are going to come down in the market. And how do I know that is I go into a shorter term time frame. We also have a shooting star on H4 as well. So I will know once we lose this price rally. As soon as it closes below the lower high, then the shorts get another chance to try to short it down as a bearish case scenario. Also in the daily, we need a healthy low, a higher low, right? This should not go straight up into the sky. That means something's an anomaly is happening. But I would not be surprised if this kind of tops out. We get a higher low test. Any one of these gap supports, remember if using the gap indicator, easily see right at 432 and 424. So I'm looking at resistance zone somewhere about 438 area. I will put a star here. Let's see if I can find the star emoji. Sometimes you just got to make it interesting on your charts. I'll just put a purple dot. That is where my resistance zone is and the subsequent pullback. Another way to do this is just put a Fibonacci from low to high. And where do we penetrate into? We hit the 618, we hit the 50% retrace. So a lot of my alerts were firing this week in terms of levels that we hit. So closed down my short, went long, had nice gains, crypto gains as well. So I had a good week last week, but I would not recommend to enter here. If somebody's trying to trade, I wouldn't really enter on this candle because it's so high, right? It's not really the long strategy. So there's a higher chance we could pull back to about the 430 to 427 area. On the weekly, we don't have an extreme signal about a shooting star or anything on the weekly. Yeah, we had this very strong bullish engulfing as well, candle. So NASDAQ QQQ, right? This is why support and resistance works. Again, last week was saying that we might get some kind of reversal point possibly because we're starting to get momentum and the RSI kind of oversold with this bullish momentum and it bounced back up to the upside. Bounced up where there's actually a trend line, this dotted trend line. You see this? This is our resistance zone. So let me redraw so people don't get confused. Put the trend line resistance on the top, support on the bottom. And even on a Bollinger Band, this one day was an anomaly, 90% chance. This is very outlier. Combined with oversold conditions, we bounce back up into the resistance zone, right? So I don't see a shooting star just yet, but we're at the resistance trend line on the top. So want to watch out for that 369. If that's going to be our temporary top to start off Monday and Tuesday coming up here. On the H1, we do have that double top. So all these charts in the beginning, they're going to be very similar. We do have the hourly golden cross. The 4-hour is still death cross. We are above the 200 EMA. I would not be surprised if we get a pullback all the way down to 357 to create some kind of upside down head and shoulders pattern. Watch out for this gap fill if it happens. I'm watching it very closely. Dow Jones, DIA exactly very similar. Right into the resistance zone on the top. Draw one trend line on the closes. There we go. And then I can draw this extended trend line. This one is debatable. Somebody could draw it very steep, or they could extend it out to get more of the numbers from. This one makes more sense, right? You're getting a long-term trend line, multiple touch points, and then we had that bullish momentum play from last week. Here in the same resistance, I'm not seeing anything on the weekly yet. The daily, we do have this island gap up top here, potential shooting star doji type of, it's actually a doji candle. I want to watch out for this right in the resistance zone. If it gets rejected, we could go pull back up and then back down. So that's why I would not be surprised. The bearish scenarios, if we pull back down, short it down for a potential upside down head and shoulders formation. If the H4 is up here, we're starting to lose momentum, right? So it could be just a very short term pullback down, right? Because if this went up just a little bit down to 336 and then bulls try to fight it, because the sentiment right now in the market, moving on to IWM, is that if people are kind of predicting and forecasting that the interest rate hikes are maybe going to end at some point within the next year. I've already read some analysts saying that we're going to have some kind of economic recovery potentially. Don't quote me on that, but some people already have that bullish mindset, right? So when I look here on the IWM on some of these growth stocks, the index, this was very oversold last time we looked at the stream. So that's why if I'm a swing trader, I am looking at weekly or monthly setups, daily setups, and it could just end in a matter of a week, 5 days, 7 days, right? This is just a 7-day turnaround, 5-day turnaround, and we're already at the lower high, low high, low high, low high, right? So this could pull back down to about 170 area in this blue before we try to have a breakout attempt. I like this play. Why? Because not that it's the fact that it's going down, but I do like that when it's low price in the zone, and here on the weekly, we have a horizontal support, which is absolutely beautiful chart. And so where's the target? Long-term target up here, $200. So I like the fact that we actually defended this support. This is the third major time we're down here. We don't have a super momentum, but it's starting to build. So heading into 2024, I could see some kind of rally as well in some of this growth stocks if we happen to break out of this channel. Let's go to US oil. Oil is slightly different. Oil has kind of consolidated, and we're going to combine these trend lines and box it in. So it's not in a pure uptrend anymore. Has not been for half of this year. US oil, we had this potential uptrend, and now it's going sideways consolidation. So it's just bouncing off of this or testing the support level, which is about 74.28. 74.28. And if it's going to bounce up here, $81, right? $81 could be that resistance point. So I'm just watching two levels, $74 and $81 on US oil. Very simple. Now on the weekly though, this is a little bit cause for concern that the MACD looks like it's about to down cross. So just be aware of that long term. On the H4, it is potential upside down head and shoulders, or if I like to get a higher low to try to continue this to the upside. However, if the price closes below 74, then there is a problem. Natural gas actually very, very subtly making an uptrend attempt. So just a quick recap, we had a massive crash on natural gas ETF, it was approximately negative 84% to the downside. However, there's some liquidity down here in terms of it stopped crashing. I like that. It stopped crashing as well. And we have a potential rising wedge pattern. Very good. As long as the price does not fall below, let's say, $7 and 670 area in this blue circle, we try to establish the higher low and get up to $8. And if we have a massive breakout, you'll probably see some short squeeze or some longs enter in this area. But I like this area of support defense down here. Let's move on to gold. Gold. Now, gold, the flight to safety, weeks ago, it was actually a month ago in this live stream saying, watch out for this potential level of support. And then we had a massive bounce, way overcompensated, 10% bounce. And it's starting to lose momentum a little bit on the weekly. So we just want to watch out for that. On the weekly, we do have a hanging man candle. So just need to beware of that. Now, in terms of where are we going to go from here? Draw a resistance line. I like to box the price in. Multiple zones. So I'm ready. Multiple zones. So we had a super oversold and we're into an overbought zone now in the H4. There is some continuation. We hit that, we pulled back from it, and like I said on the indexes, once we lose the price, it's almost making a head and shoulders bearish reversal pattern to the downside. So I just want to watch out for that if that happens, because if we don't go higher, I'm expecting a pullback in gold as the stock market tries to recover. There is some momentum here, so as long as the support holds, it should be fine. In the uptrend, let's see in the silver as well. Potential double top on silver approaching this resistance trend line here in the $22 range. And it's stuck going horizontal in the flag here. So if it doesn't break up above 21.36, I can see this go down to about $20. That's the middle area, higher low, and see, try to bounce up from there. The weekly as well is a little bit choppy. It's not a pure weekly uptrend, right? This is a downward consolidation. The only best chance scenario is if this breaks out and then continues. But there's a chance, but if it doesn't break out above 22, probably not going up. Let's move on. Let's do a little bit of the stocks that I was talking about earlier. Let's take a look at, for instance, bring the list back up. It's going to get bright. Just for a moment, look at ExxonMobil. Now, these are not recommendations by any means. It's just some of my alerts and my search is showing that maybe we might have a bullish momentum here on the daily because there's a potential maybe after earnings. It is short-term downtrend on XOM, but there's potential double bottom if it survives with the MACD, right? So that's why if this is a double bottom play, it should go 8% to the upside, which is to 122. So if I might play this week. It depends if it crashes or not. It's only 3% stop loss with a 9% potential. But however, the whole 80-90% of the rest of the market might crash. So this might crash too. Plug Power, or might pull back, I should say. Plug Power has been a very, very strong downtrend for years, almost 2 years. So at some point, however, this thing might bounce. Just starting to show up on some of my alerts. And this is right before earnings, which is only 5 days from now. So if they have good earnings, you can see there's plenty of space for the bounce up here. Plenty of space. And if it gets rejected, I mean, the next level down is somewhere $4.75 area to $4 area. So just beware of that. I'm watching this on the earnings list. NCLH also has a little bit of this bullish momentum building on it, and it is below a significant level of support. So it's the area of fighting between the bulls and the bears on the level 2, and we could see this bullish momentum, just one uptick of green MACD histogram. That's why it's very suspicious. One very small tick on the daily. So as a swing trader, I'm very sensitive to that. We had the bounce. Okay. If it's going to rally, I could see some kind of short squeeze happening here. And it has to rally above the 1550 mark to get some significant momentum. But I like that this thing might turn around. It had earnings that were not catastrophic. So it's just kind of calm before the storm right there. See what happens with that. NCLH. Now next, PLTR, Palantir, after the massive rally. Now Palantir is a slightly different play for me because it had good earnings. So I'm watching to see, are we going to get a resistance breakout or not, because it has been consolidating between these two spots. Use the parallel channel tool and see where above $20 is it going to go. Because if it goes the full move, it could go 20 to 40% if we have just some kind of insane rally that's going to take us right to the top here, maybe. But at the same time, if it's going to lose steam, it could pull back down to like 16, 17, or even 14 area. Okay, so that's why it's very suspicious why this one didn't go up a lot more, right? We had this gap up in the past. We had bad earnings, slightly bad earnings in the past, and we had that crash. So we had slightly good earnings, so it's trying to bounce back up. But at the same time, do I like longing up here? I personally don't, unless there's a very good reason, but I'm going to watch that. Next one. New holdings. Their earnings coming up in about 10 days from now. But this is at a resistance. Why did it come up on my alerts is because on my charts search is because after support play, right, it's at some kind of resistance breakout area. So resistance area, just start to break out of there. Now, two scenarios that could happen. You can see if you have good earnings, there's plenty of space to get that nice pump rally, 20%, 10 to 20%. However, if it fails, $7.71 and $7 to the downside, it's already losing momentum. So people are not really having faith in this stock right now. Okay, KGC in terms of resistance, see it just broke out of its resistance, just like gold. So KGC is probably very correlated with gold. We had the oversold to the uptrend rally, to a flag, to the potential continuation, but it is up here at about $80, $81, right? So it just popped up above there, it just poked its head out. The price, trying to see if the coast is clear, if the road is clear, but they have earnings in 4 days. That's why I'm very suspicious of this as well, because if it crashes, plenty of short opportunity here if somebody is able to short that. Okay, let's take a look at just quickly some indexes, and we'll move on to crypto. If you have a question or request, just let me know. And I'm going to try to end earlier today because last week's stream was very long. Okay, let's go to some indexes. ETFs, just quick lightning round. So we have that bounce. Communications bounced as well. Everything kind of reverting back to resistance zone. Shooting star on real estate, double bottom bounce. Everything's in the rally shooting star, right? So in the short term, things are taking a profit pullback. Global indexes, start off with China. China even had a short rally in the end of its last month. Japan had a double bottom bounce. Hong Kong also had a bullish double bottom bounce, basically higher low. Euro next with a double bottom bounce. UK essentially with the V-shaped recovery, so that's double bottom or a support play on the H1, H4 chart. Sense X also had a small rally, very small though. Canada, Toronto Exchange, nice rally as well. So you can see TASI as well. Global markets just kind of rallied. We hit the zone 618, but we're in a shooting star right now, so I wouldn't long that. Just I would have some patience. Germany also rallied. Australia also finally rallied, thank goodness. But careful on here on Australia, because you see the low, high, low, high, low, high. If it's not the real one, this could eventually flip over. It could take 7 days, just like the circle here, and then pull back down. So I'm just very carefully watching for that. I do like to see this defense above 6756. This is a bullish scenario. Try to get out of here, right? So we have to break above that trend line. It's still a roof above us right now. Switzerland with the shooting star as well. Okay, let's go to crypto. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the cryptocurrency segment of my live stream, where I go over swing trading and investing, technical analysis charts. Cryptocurrency. So the big news was that the former CEO of FTX Crypto Exchange, SBF for short, was convicted guilty on 7 counts of fraud. And so the market did have a bearish reaction on that one day. However, we did rally, and we're consolidating to the side right now. If I look at TOTAL, we just barely poked out of a 1.5 years or 1 year ascending triangle type of formation. This is an ascending triangle. It's not a perfect one, but it is one in terms of the yellow lines. And it's supposed to be bullish. Now, the risk factor to that is the SEC. The SEC, in terms of they're still trying to find any illegal or criminal or fraudulent type of activity in the crypto marketplace, and they want to see the proper documentation and legal documentation. So that's why they're challenging PayPal. That's why SBF went to jail for fraud, FTX bankruptcy, right? Those are not really bullish events. Okay, so we had this rally because we had a technical upside down head and shoulders off of a trend line support bounce. Now we have this ascending triangle. So the large move, it's supposed to be 50-60% to the upside, but it could take months or years to get up there, at least half a year possibly. So I'm predicting maybe we might get a pullback. I always say pullback because we're not in this state of crypto where it's just going to go straight rocket to the moon. It's just not like that, to be honest, right now. So when I say pullback, it's just a healthy down test of the support. Just go down to about 1.1 trillion. Even here, it's reminding me of 2019. 2019 chart looked like this, where we had a ridiculous bearish crash, and then it started to turn into a ascending triangle, right? So it takes time for this ascending triangle to kind of get noticed. Not everybody knows about it. So that's what I'm just kind of hoping is happening right now, is that SEC and the government doesn't do anything too bad here with crypto. And then we have someone just come in with some big, like whales need to buy, miners, corporations, institutions. Maybe the Bitcoin ETF will help. We had the Bitcoin halving next year as well, so that might help. Hopefully it's not a sell the news event. But like I said, usually it's kind of quiet until we have some major action going on. Even in the pandemic afterwards, we had not exactly the same, but we had a symmetrical triangle instead. And then it eventually broke out to the upside. But we had a large pullback in the circle, is what I'm saying. So even if we have a large rally, gets kind of overbought up here, head and shoulders, double top resistance, pull back. Then people say buy the dip, buy the dip. Another upside down head and shoulders play to the upside. So it comes in waves in terms of the moves. So we can see it. We were downtrending for so long. Downtrending, broke out of resistance, tried to reverse. SEC lawsuits, buy the dip, don't be scared mentality. And it's just barely starting that next high in the price. High, low, high, almost a higher high, higher low. So we just got that higher high on Bitcoin. So if it pulls back, bearish scenario pulls back to 1.2 trillion. And then we try to blast off one more time, try to defend it as bulls. Bullish scenario is it just barely rests on top of one of these EMA supports up here. Short-term EMA, we do have a golden cross again, which is very beautiful to see. Thank crypto for this, right? Golden cross, everybody. We had a death cross. He was kind of unsure, certain for about 1 or 2 months, and we have a golden cross again. So if it pulls back all the way down to 1.1, nothing to get scared about. As long as it holds that, we try to hold that and push it up as bulls. Even on the weekly, it's kind of getting a little bit into, it's not quite super overbought. That's why I know it might not be the end for crypto just yet. Take a quick peek at Total 2 market cap. Total 2 as well. We had a nice double bottom off of here. So this is another index to just really focus on. And I highlighted that at one point in the stream in the past month. Total 3. Everything besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. So these are most of the altcoins. We had a beautiful upside down head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders with the breakout. So let's see what the move was here. 7%. And we almost went 14%. So if it's going to go to about 381 billion, we'll see, right? We'll see how that's going to play out. Now, on the daily, you can see it isn't overbought. So some of the altcoins might be overbought. Okay? Even Bitcoin. I'll mention it now. The total is in an overbought area. It's not extreme, but the last time we had it in the 80s or upper 75s, it rallied, and then we eventually pulled back. Right? Rally, pull back off the scary news. So that might happen. It's just getting a little too high. People might pull it back down. So let's look at Bitcoin futures. I'm still, just personally, for full transparency, I'm still holding crypto as an investor. I believe this could be the start of a new mega rally. But as a trader, if I'm day trading or looking at this as swing trader, it's different. Different because we have to realize we went down to $15,000 Bitcoin. Now it's 34,805 on futures price. So this, if you look left, this is a resistance zone on the left here, okay? So we have this resistance drawing it there. We also have diagonal resistances right at the ceiling. Right at the ceiling. We also have the support. So my 3 scenarios that I'm preparing for this week is first the bearish scenario to manage risk. I understand Bitcoin could crash back down to 30,000. It's totally normal. We don't want to lose $25,000. That's bad. But if it pulls back to $30,000 Bitcoin port support, looks like, one moment please, looks like the live stream is choppy because of internet connection. Let me know if there's a technical problem. I think I lost the live stream for a minute. Apologies about that. Internet can't really control that. Looks like we're back online. If there's a problem, just let me know in the comments. So we have the resistance here and the support on Bitcoin. And again, I would not try to enter here. I'm not going to add more here unless we have a massive breakout. So 3 scenario is bearish first, pull back down to 32,000 or 30,000, right? And then try to recover to 38, 40,000. We need like another bullish news, something in the next 2 months, or just have a natural Santa Claus Christmas rally, we like to call it, that things are going up, people get excited, want to buy something for Black Friday, it's coming up, or Cyber Monday, and people try to buy. So I'm not too scared about this pullback. I would be concerned and nervous if we lose 28 and 25, then we're in a huge downtrend, then that's a problem. But on a weekly, we do have a shooting star, everybody. So I just want to point that out, that a day trader or swing trader would be very cautious about this. Investor, you just have to understand, yeah, I'm going to have to hold through the pullback if I'm a long-term investor like 5 years, right? High, low, high, low, high, low, high. It's going to come down, probably retest it, and we'll try to rally back up, right? That's the risk of being an investor. It is going sideways as well. Take a quick look at Bitcoin dominance. And again, why am I looking at all these alternative indexes? Is because it's not good to just stare at one altcoin in isolation. You lose sight of the big picture. So let's look at BTC dominance as well. So Bitcoin dominance, this could explain why we're kind of topping out right now. Very, very large in the uptrend, right? But we're at the relative high right now. We just went from a low to high on RSI. Also, the MACD is down. So I'm expecting Bitcoin and altcoins to just come down at some point or fight as we're trying to prop the price up, right? Or bulls trying to defend the support. So where could it come down to on this chart? Somewhere in the 52% range. That's the horizontal target as well. And if I draw the trend line here, it has a long-term higher target, 58%, but it looks like it's getting stuck there on the pivots as well. I do like it's above the pivot. The immediate pivot's 52.83%. So why does this matter? Is, again, from an investor perspective, I understand if we're going to get red, it's just part of the natural process. I might add more crypto if it comes down, right? If we start crashing, then I'm going to take my profit at some point, right? However, if we start rallying, then it's totally fine with me. If we keep going back up more, just inch my stop loss up just very slowly, right? So I'm in investor mode personally right now. Let's go to Ethereum. So Ethereum, okay, if we look at this, I remember calling this potential educational risk reward at some point, 5% risk, the 15% 3-to-1 exactly hit bots and traders taking their profit for swing trading, and then we're out of there, right? As a swing trader. So where are we going now with Ethereum? In the long term, in the weekly, we are trying to hold the support on the bottom side, and we're trying to close into a potential ascending triangle, or to be exact, a symmetrical triangle, right? So this is kind of turning into like 2020 in terms of it's at a breakout point. It's tightening up. Nobody's really sure about SEC. There's a little bit of glimmers of hope. And if it pulls back down, 1700, 1687 is that support area, right? High, low, high, low. That's the breakout to 2000 and to higher low, and then try to break out more, right? Support, support, support. Resistance, resistance area. Okay. Now, Binance coin as well. Why did I say that at the beginning? It bounced off of a support play down here. It bounced off of a support play. That's what I'm saying. It's either going to continue straight up to about 300 level, or you can see back in June 2022, we had pullbacks, right? So that's why I believe something like that might happen, the choppiness of high, low, high, low. So understand that the target is 263 and support is $200 on the downside. Solana, we had a massive rally on Solana. So obviously people getting inspired by this setup. I'm sure many other traders have been talking about it. The ascending triangle on Solana. We almost hit the first target. Sometimes it does not go perfect up to the target. Sometimes it does not. But I still believe Solana, once the price cools off, might have another chance at a nice rally to the upside with the ascending triangle, because it's supposed to go, let's say, 50 to possibly 150% from the breakout. So 50, we already went 50. So conservative target complete, 100% is 52. And then 150%, 65. The fourth target, 200%. At 77. That's actually not impossible. It's not impossible. And in terms of the trend line over here on the left, on the top side, was broken out of and tested. So this is very strong. High, low, high, low. Now, would I buy now? No, I would not buy now, because I believe it could retest any of these EMA support lines. 37, 32, 28, or 23. So I like that a lot. We're in the golden cross on how many coins now? Bitcoin, almost Ethereum, not quite. Solana's golden up cross. Cardano, I'm also in the green on Cardano. Very nice play. And this is what I'm talking about. Do I believe in support? Yes or no? Do I want to put on some risk on a double bottom support? My answer is yes. That's what I did on Cardano. And now I'm up this much nicely. However, as a trader, if I was a trader, I'd probably take some profit and move my stop loss way up here. But as an investor, I believe this could be the start of a new mega rally because we hit this 24-cent level and it's breaking out way above this trend line. So there's some interesting activity here. I would love to see Cardano turn into an uptrend on the golden cross and see Cardano go to like 50, 60, 75 $1 area. Would love to see that finally on this altcoin after years of waiting, right? So that's the issue is the long-term investors, including myself, we're not going to give up so easily because we've been waiting for this bottom for almost 2 years now. That's why I believe in this so strongly. Support, support, support. At least the first resistance at 40 cents. And then you can see the parallel channel measure move is 60% to double that. So maybe $1.20 in the future. But it could take 1 or 2 years to get up there. But I'm willing to just wait. You know, it'll pass by faster than I think. XRP as well, another breakout play. So, you know, trying to get in early here on some of these altcoins. XRP was much more obvious because it had the high, low, high, low, high, low, upside down and shoulders combined with Bitcoin correlation. So then you combine it, right? In terms of the analysis. Ascending triangle. Support, 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 and see if we can get to 91 cents. The measured move, approximately 60 to 80%. 80% would be $1. 60% would be approximately 96 cents, a previous high. And I'm just waiting for this one. It is approaching the overbought, but we haven't had a super FOMO type of rally. Hasn't happened yet. It's gearing up for it. Weekly as well. I just like this. It's actually showing positive signs. The higher high, if it's a true higher high, should break 90 cents. We should close up way above $1. I want to see it. I want to see it. Okay. Now, rapid fire for the rest. AVAX. We had that nice double bottom. So again, trying to get in early on crypto. The watch list, if you notice, is all red because people and bots are taking their profit right now, right? Our stop losses are triggering over the weekend. We're seeing a lot of we had a bounce over the past 30 days, especially near. That was a nice one. Litecoin, not getting started on Litecoin quite yet. There's upside down head and shoulders that's supposed to go approximately like 15% or so. So $79 could be that target. Uni, almost everything had a bounce. Link had a wonderful bounce for 2 weeks, but it looks like it's profit taking time. If you're a trader, Tron as well, double top. Bitcoin Cash as well. We know we're a problem once we lose that support on the bottom side. Where's the bottom side? 222 or 200. If we lose those, then we know there's a significant problem in Bitcoin Cash. Ethereum Classic did bounce up, but it's approaching this top side resistance area. Algo, we had a nice double bottom bounce. And somebody's watching my stream maybe, or they're just getting information from another stream. Is that nice double bottom play, trying to go 16 to 30%, trying to hit with the 786 or the 618 Fibonacci levels. XLM as well, beautiful play. I got XLM at the exact bottom of this, just about like 10-24 cent area. Nice, almost 20% gains right now on XLM Stellar because just trying to get in early, right? I remember looking right on the day of this, when I longed it, pull back, wait a second, isn't this a higher low? Just buy this thing, buy. And so I bought it and I'm up 20%, might inch my stop loss up if I believe we're going to pull back down. VeChain also had a nice bounce. Mana also as well. Mana, right? So it looks like the green box is not that big, but this is basically 20 to 25%. So every swing trader knows probably want to take some profit on there or move a stop loss up for protection. H bar as well. So EGLD had a beautiful breakout. Wonderful. That just happened today. So moves are still being made. Now, I do want to caution people, it depends on their mindset. Okay, what am I talking about? Let's go to like a GBTC, right? This is what all the hype is about in terms of the Bitcoin ETF. Grayscale. This is a stock, actually. It's a over-the-counter OTC stock in America. Grayscale company, crypto company, has been making these types of crypto types of trusts. And this is the one that everyone's all excited about. Grayscale, GBTC is the ticker name. And it's been known for a long time. I've been holding GBTC for quite a while now. Full transparency. And I saw this giant upside down head and shoulders. And I said, that's kind of the perfect setup for me. So I'm in. And up nicely. And there, everyone's talking about the differential. If this thing turns into a Bitcoin ETF, that there's some up to maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15% gain. It's different now, but that the difference in the price. But I do like support. We just bounce out the support, but you see we're towards the resistance area. So if it doesn't go higher in the next month or week, it's probably going to pull back down to 22. That's fine with me. As long as we don't crash below 22, I'm still in profit. So try to lock my profits in this general zone area. But I'm letting it build. Why? Because like I said, we've been in such an extreme downtrend for 1.5 years. This is the chance we're actually trying to go up. So I'm not going to sell it prematurely too early. I learned that when I first started. Right? I've lived through crypto for 5 years straight as a trader and analyst. So, swing trading, day trading, investing as well. So been through a lot in crypto and stocks as well. So that's why when it starts going up, I'm not going to fight the trend. Okay. And the last 10 minutes of the stream, let's go over some paper trading examples. Last week was not the greatest examples, but I'll try to do a better example today. Let's go. So let's pretend I'm on Bitcoin. All right. Let's go to Bitcoin. I'll use Oanda again. And start off with bar replay. So again, there's two ways to practice here. If somebody's a beginner, I always tell them, focus on learning about price. Price what? Price candles. How to read a price chart. Candles and a line chart. What are the green candles? What are red candles? And on the left side, all the tools on the left side, right? It says trend line tools. There's a bunch of them. There's retracement tools, patterns. My favorite tool is the risk reward tool, long position, short position, because you get to plan and calculate your trades. And hopefully we're not doing it backwards, or we're using a strategy, or we just do correct technical analysis. Because if I long it here right now, today, at this moment in time, there's all of this open space that was risk. I longed Bitcoin close to the bottom down here, because if I move it down, now we understand there's actually less risk. If we're starting to inch its way up and go up, I longed Bitcoin and now I'm in profit. So all I have to do is just move my stop loss up to wherever I wanted to lock in the minimum amount of profit. So this is a great tool to practice with. Practice starting off going long, and then if you press / or you click this indicator button, you get free indicators that you can use. And I suggest, if like me, what I did is I looked at every single one of these to at least look at it once on crypto and stocks. That's what I did. All these strategies, all these profiles, all these indicators, I put it all up on stocks and crypto and looked at it once, and I figured out my own strategies, what works for me, what makes sense to me. Some indicators, just my personal preference. Some tools just doesn't really even connect with me, right? It's hard to read. It doesn't really make sense on my asset, so I just don't use it. And my tools that I use are very, very standard. Some of these are the new ones, but these are very standard, right? EMAs, moving averages, exponential or simple, pivot points, pivot point labels, gaps for stocks. Show the gaps. Gaps when there are jumps in the price overnight, up or down for stocks. Bollinger Bands just for extreme volatility moves. And like I said in the beginning, TradingView has patterns. Open up the indicators again. This did not exist years ago. So anybody starting now, you have a slight advantage over the old traders. And that I love all chart patterns and I love this all candle patterns. Just put them all on there. And then once in a while, you'll see it. It's not perfect because obviously it has its own metrics, but it shows you, right? Doji, let's see. I remember opening up the stream today. Chart patterns could work. I think it worked on stocks. Here we go. You can see it's huge, right? We had this large ascending triangle. We had a falling wedge and then identified the bottom and the resistance top and it had a target. We didn't quite get there, but the resistance target, we had a symmetrical triangle as well. That there's a missing line here. But see, this can sometimes help instead of just looking at a blank empty chart and not knowing what to do. So TradingView has created some of the greatest tools, indicators, social platform in the world. And it's just a matter of just getting in here and with a free account or a paid account, starting with a free account probably, and just starting to test out things. Just try it on a weekend. That's what I did. I used to start on nights and weekends, and then I pulled up one Saturday. I still remember that. I've done much more work on this, but I opened up every indicator on Bitcoin and just whatever makes sense to me, I like that one. I like to use it. Bar replay, we'll do some bar replay and paper trading today. And let's go to Bitcoin. So now, in terms of this example, we're looking at bar replay on the daily chart. Now rewind. Let's rewind into some kind of bear market area. Let's say I'm a long and I want to focus on going green only. I need to make money in the green only. What I did not mention last stream, okay? So I was basically showing last stream over trading, having no strategy. These are things not to do. So what not to do in the market? Over trading, having no strategy, getting too emotional, going off of feelings instead of logic or a strategy or indicators, right? And just using the price sometimes can only be maybe up to a 60% success rate on some of these patterns, right? So it's not perfect. But if I was a much more disciplined swing trader, for example, like I am now compared to years ago when I first started, is I have learned to say no to a lot of charts. So there's that Benjamin Graham, the father of investing, modern investing, and he was Warren Buffett's mentor and teacher, is that Mr. Market, the example. Mr. Market is kind of manic depressive. Mr. Market, meaning the market of charts, like Bitcoin market, crypto market, stock market. It's kind of crazy person, right? In terms of changing their mind all the time. But then in terms of how can I make sense of it all? I liken it to, it's like going to the grocery store market or going to an electronic store or just going to a store in your country where you can buy items. Now, in real life, do I go to my local grocery store and buy every single food at one time? Do I spend all of my money at one time? No. So then analogous to the market, should I spend all of my money on one trade and one investment? No. Even in gambling, if you've ever been to Las Vegas or a casino in your country or just played for fun, you know that all in plays are the most risky and most dangerous and the worst risk possible, right? So just combining some of those ideas and just trying to connect it. In real life, what do we need to do on this day? Like, I need to go buy food. What do I need? And we prepare the funds mentally about, okay, I'm going to buy X amount of food for 1 day or for 3 days or something like that. So same thing. Swing trading, I'm not trying to predict too much. I just like my setups that I like and I wait for it. So having setups that you know work, chart setups or a strategy, because there is a strategy tester down here. I've used this a lot to figure out what works for you and what works for your asset that's going to give you above average gains, I would say. And then try to execute that only. That is the challenge as swing trader, because humans make mistakes. People make mistakes. Emotions and feelings and stress and anxiety causes mistakes. So sometimes to improve as a trader, it's actually what we do off of the computer that affects what we do on the computer. Meaning, if I'm unhealthy in my body or my mind, if I'm sick or tired, I'm probably going to have bad performance, bad trading, bad analysis, just bad mentality, or bad charts, right? So just trying to connect the dots here with mental health, physical health, emotional health, or spiritual health, if you believe in that, and then trying to really work at the best of our intelligence and prepare. And as an investor, I have time. I can slow down my charts. Day traders, you have to make snap decisions. Swing traders, you have to make timely decisions, maybe within hours or days. But investor, I can just kind of relax a little bit, let this thing go. And I'll use 3 times today. Speed. And I understand that we're in a falling wedge. We just crashed here. Looks like we're in the downtrend. Okay, so because, like I said, my experience of living through and trading through and investing through 2018 and 2019, I lived through the 2019 rally. I lived through the Bitcoin crash pandemic. We all lived through the Bitcoin rally of 2020 to 2021, the crash of 2022, and the downtrend of 2022 to 2023. So basically, from experience, I know in a downtrend, I just showed you last week, the gains are much smaller. The rallies are much smaller than a mega rally to the up, like a moon rally. So that's why I became very conservative in 2022. I actually didn't trade that much in 2022. Just kind of sat on my hands, just waited, didn't research, did other things, traded a lot of stocks. But when I see interesting setup and say, okay, this might go up, possible. The risk will actually miss the perfect candle. But I like this bullish engulfing and see maybe I could do a little bit conservative trading, maybe a little swing trade here. And let's see if this works. Well, buy. I like that bullish engulfing candle. Starting to go up on me. If it goes down, I'm just going to manage my risk and flatten it here. Right? Because last stream, it was no risk examples, right? But if I have some kind of mental risk, let's just pretend it's $500. I'm already getting too close into that risk. If I commit to my stop loss, it would be greater than that. So let's just see what happens. Barely survive. See that? Barely survive. So I had a decision there. If I'm down negative 300, negative 500, negative 700, negative even 1,000. But if I commit to my stop loss, if I had a negative 300, then I should have sold there. But if I commit to my stop loss, that's down here, actually we survived that. And it's a potential double bottom play now. Now, was it good for me to enter right here? a little risky because that's a relative high, right? A little risky right here. So I like to see maybe I should have entered on the higher low or the double bottom, but I'm still in the trade in profit. So now my target's here 25. Let's see. Upside down. There's a triple bottom here now. Beautiful play. So when it starts developing like that, I like to buy these bottoms. But I longed it on risk. It was risk on knowing that, hey, we're starting to get some kind of formation to the upside. Now, in real life, I'm going to start tightening up my stop loss and actually move it up. Minimum break even. Probably at this point, I probably would have maybe sold, 20%. Just trying to hit that perfectly is not always a good example. I would have brought it down a little bit here, maybe right here. 19% is close enough. Don't get greedy, and it would have stopped me out. So just for this example, for the sake of discipline trading, instead of just doing like a 1-hour demo, is just flatten it here. So basically, what I had was still 2-to-1, meaning I made $2,000 USD profit because Bitcoin's 22,000 range, right? $2,000, but then I risked $1,000 basically, which was not realized. Does that make sense? Where I had this open, and in the back of my mind, I understood I'm trying to get 2-to-1, close enough. But if I was risking $1,000 or $500, and then I get up to $1,000, $2,000 profit, just take the profit as a swing trader, right? Because if I don't make a decision from like last week's example, if there's no risk management, if there's no decision, if there's no disciplined stop loss and profit limit targets, as a trader or a day trader, that's how people get destroyed. That's how people get destroyed over time, right? So that was a long example. Let's see if we can find a short example here. And it's continuing to go up. Nice. So I see it starting to kind of weaken, right? I'm talk about this play all the time. If I lose the support here, okay, it's interesting. If we lose that, well, the stop loss range is 5 to 10% again. Will it drop 20%? Who knows? Who knows if it's going to drop 20%? But I'm starting to see a little bit of weakness here. So let's just short it for an example. I'm going to sell one Bitcoin at 23,202. Play. Whoa. So that was exactly 100% correct, right? Now, again, if I'm shorting, immediately move my stop loss up. So I'm going to get stopped down to profit soon. It might bounce up. Let's see if it bounces up. It's going to go down. Again, I'm not going to get too greedy. I'll probably sell half if I could here, and then start to get out of here. All right, so I'm just going to get out now. Almost made 4,000. Almost is 3,900. Okay, so that right here, it's just short using technical analysis. So that's why. How many trades did I do? I only did 2 trades. 1 long, 1 short. Trying to capture a majority. It's never going to be perfect. Sometimes I'll get the exact perfect low to the high. It's like, wow, that was literally a perfect trade. Most times I'm just getting the majority of the move, the meat of the move, the middle of the move. So almost made 6,000 there with $2,000 risk. So you kind of see how this kind of the risk reward is working, right? If I risk $1,000 and I'm trying to make $2,000, and then if I have the risk management in place, and if I can stick to that without getting too emotional or anxious, etc., and I do good technical analysis, that's 2 for 2 trade right there. It's only 2 trades, but $6,000 over a period of, it's not that much money for the amount of period of time, 90 days. But you understand what I'm saying? It's just 2 trades. So you could just multiply that by your account. Some people have 10 times more or 100 times more larger account. Some people have 50 times smaller account. Some people are in the hundreds, right? Some people are in the thousands or hundreds of thousands of profit. Like, for example, some Fund managers, they bought, $4 million of Bitcoin and they just sold it last week for their profit because they've been holding it for a year, right? For the shorter gains tax. I understand that. So coming in here, that's probably why and how you want to use the bar replay. Just a little bit more deliberate and disciplined style. And the way also to hone that, I actually can't show this too much. Market's closed right now, but paper trading is the correct way to do it. Also, I have a Cardano trade in here from last time. I just want to review that. Okay, so I have a Cardano long in here from a long time ago. And in the order history, when was it? It was from 10/29. So it's from last week's stream, right? Practicing this paper trade. Remember, I did it live on stream. I said, what if, because I like this double bottom formation, it was actually buying a little high, right? Where did it fill? And this is swing trading. This is how you feel a lot of times. Where's my entry? Well, let's just say it was 29.7. I think it's like 29.35 something right here. And my profit target is 34.78 and my stop loss is 25.8. So how would I do this? Now that we're in the play and it's basically, I bought right on this candle. We're only up 12%, which is a lot, but I have to move my stop loss up. Okay, so it says protect position. If you hover, watch this. It says we're up in the green and it says protect position. If you hover over here, it says modify order, which is limit sell, and up here is stop loss. So my stop loss, I'm going to move this way up here. I'm going to move it to above break even right here so that if it comes down one more candle, I'm going to stop out into profit, right? For good practice, I could even move this up higher just for good practice. Just let's say I want to lock in $1,000. You could see it on when I'm moving the order, right? I'm not leaving my stop loss down here. If I'm a day trader and we go up this much and my profit target was 20% and we hit 10%, I'm probably going to sell half right now. In this example, I'll just sell all, but I'll just leave this here. Okay. I like this previous candle. Let's say I want to lock in at least $1,000. So just leave it there. Leave it there. Okay. So I'm just risking maybe $141.39. If it keeps going down a little bit, I lock that $1,000 in on the trade, move on to the next one. Simple. Like that. But you understand that as a swing trading, it's much more calculated moves. It's not really me just firing, fire like that. Well, I showed you that last time, how that could backfire against somebody long or short and they lose on their money. Right? It's much more calculated entry, profit target, stop loss. For a swing trader or investor. Investor, I'm holding it for a long time. I have my no-touch portfolio that as long as we don't have a World War III type of or COVID part 2 catastrophe on the earth again, hopefully the markets will survive that. Okay, so let me put on one more paper trade for next time, and then we'll just see how it goes, right? Because that's like real 7-day trading. So we'll open this up. And remember I was saying maybe we might get a pullback, right, on one of these. Let's just look at one of these. Like a Solana. Let's try like a small pullback if it's going to be true on the paper trade. Let's pretend I want to short this. I want to sell Solana. And let's have like a 5%. This is a very tight stop loss, but because I'm shorting, I want to do very tight controlled. Let's just say we get $5,000 Solana divided by the current price, which is 1412. So I'm going to round that down to 100 units. My take profit is down here, so 37.39. And then stop loss up here at 44.44. Okay. And then sell. And so what's my risk to reward? It's about 2 to 1. So put that in place, and that should have, looks like that actually executed. So I'm short now Solana and still long Cardano, but I'm about to close that trade out. All right, so we'll input that for next time. All right, I see some requests. I can't do all of these requests. I'll do one on TradingView. Hello. So this is a TradingView request for chart Kai. K-A-I. Cadent. This has very low volume. Let me try to find a different one. Lope, very low volume as well. What else does this person have? NHC, very low volume as well. NTES, very low volume. NetEase, QLYS. These are requests. All right, so for all of the requests that this person is doing, I would say try to stick to the $1 million volume one. So QLYS or NTES, all right, NetEase or Qualies. I use NetEase as an example because it's a NASDAQ stock. So it's always good to look at this 1 million volume and how many shares float. Okay, 625. When's the next earnings? Next earnings in 11 days from now on this. So on NetEase, I've actually traded this on earnings before, a long time ago. It's been in a long-term uptrend. It's hard to predict earnings, but we can see sometimes when it's bad, you have that crash. When it's decent, that's all what I look for. When it's mixed, it goes sideways. So now we kind of understand the general health of this. And could draw this trend line and draw this trend line. Also draw the top trend line, box it in. So all I'm going to say here is resistance and support. We can see this resistance to the left. The zone here, it's right at the spot. Literally right at the spot of the breakout. So then we're going to kind of see this area, right? In the blue, 123 could be a resistance. The immediate support is 110, and then 100 and 106. I'm looking at this level as well. That's probably the most I could tell you because if we rewind to the beginning of this stream, we know that QQQ, almost every major index and ETF rally to the top of the resistance point now. So it's either going to do three scenarios. We're going to break out. We're going to keep trying to break out of here, or it's going to get rejected down from the resistance and go sideways for a little bit, or we're actually just going to pull back down because there's not enough steam to go back up. And so this is the third time we're up here. Major time, 1, 2, actually the fourth time we're up here. So we can understand, especially for companies like NetEase, if there's not much going on for it individually, if the NASDAQ pulls back, and it's happened 3 times before, NetEase is probably going to pull back. NTES, for example. If it breaks out, maybe we'll get a little bit more of that continuation. So that's why trying to trade individual stocks have to pay very, very close attention to the indexes. And again, if I was going long, like I said last week, remember, I was saying I'm thinking about closing my short, and this is exactly why. Because it was the bottom. Flipped long, got this profit out of there. Crypto, moving some stop loss up of a trade, no touch investment position, and crypto, I'm just leaving that alone. But would I long here? I don't want to long here because it's at a resistance point personally. And I would just, because I'm more of a conservative type, because I don't like over trading. I don't like trying to long this 50 times in here. I just like to do maybe one trade at the bottom, one short at the top, and then really try to be efficient like that. So I just closed down my short, long here. And in terms of if it comes down, I might initiate another short with a short stop loss up here like this. But one of these times is going to be the real one where it blasts out. That's what everybody's hoping about, because we just had that FOMC meeting saying it's going flat, holding the interest rate. So that's what people are super excited about right here. I would exercise caution though. We survived earnings, we survived Federal Reserve, but I would like to see a higher low to make sure this is real. I would like to see some kind of upside down head and shoulders, neckline breakout, something very, very clear setup rather than chasing one candle. So hopefully the trades go in your favor this week, and I will wrap up the stream now. So thank you, everybody. Went a little bit over, but the try to streamline things a little bit more for this live stream. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'm live on TradingView, YouTube, Twitch. We have a Twitter X group as well. If you have a question or request for next time, just let me know in the YouTube comments in the live chat next time. And I will see you next weekend. Thank you and have a nice week. Bye-bye.